Hey there, I'm Natalie.
I'm Emmanuel.
And I'm Max.
And we're cruising Israel for ILTV. Today we're about to take you on our Enzivan special. After all, it is holiday season here in Israel.
It's actually a season because here it's more like a month.
Yes.
All right, well, enough talking. Let's get on the road.
Let's do it.
So there's supposed to be some kind of good wineries up here in the Golan.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, the best way to start your day is with a glass of wine.
Well, today we're about to learn all about how it's made. So let's be on our way.
Let's go.
Cool, let's do it.
Israel is said to have 5 wine regions around the country, and with 150 boutique wineries, we drove up north to Kibbutz Enzivan to Bahat Winery. Emmanuel, are you excited for this wine tasting?
You know, I'm not that crazy of a drinker, but yeah, I'm excited.
Taking the family name, Bahat Winery uses traditional methods to produce their wine. And today we learned the entire process of winemaking from start to finish. So as Ofer has mentioned before, the grapes are picked from the Bental Mountains and then it's brought to the winery over here. It's put into this canister right here. It's in the process of fermentation. It's mixing with yeast and alcohol. No sugar is added.
No sugar, just alcohol.
Just alcohol. And then it is brought around, come over, to this machine.
So this I Love Lucy machine.
Yes, and it gets squeezed, all the alcohol gets squeezed out from the bottom, and then it's wine.
And then
It is then brought over to this room, it's placed into all these barrels, which are made from oak tree, and it is in the process of aging from 1 to 2 years. This is where the distinctive flavor comes from.
And they hand make the bottles. They label and cork them by themselves. Here's the labeling machine. It's all handmade and all amazing.
So this whole process is basically taking place in this small winery.
These 4 rooms.
Yes, and 10 to 20,000 bottles are produced a year.
Basically, the whole beginning of the process of making the wine starts with this machine over here. You throw in the grapes with the skin, with the stems, everything on it, and it comes out processed with no stems and just grapes.
And then it was time for some wine and liquor tasting, our favorite part. Chocolate wine.
Chocolate liqueur.
Liqueur. We tried an assortment of different liquors, including dulce de leche, chocolate, blueberry, cherry, and limoncello.
Cheers.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry about
So
that.
rude. That one's good.
Why? It's very strong. This is for Max.
Yeah.
Cheers, babes.
Cheers. And then he brought out the wine glasses.
Yeah.
Finally.
Time. There's nothing like alcohol on a day where you don't drink alcohol.
There's nothing like an ice cold glass of white wine on a very hot summer day.
Yet I'm drinking red. Can we switch?
No, we can't. It all started in the home of Ofer Bahat, and with dreams of expanding, he now shares his deep passion for winemaking with many customers. So what would you say is your favorite wine?
I'm not a big drinker, even wine, but if I have to pick, it's white, because red puts me to sleep. What about you?
For me, it depends on my mood. If it's a nice, hot summer day, then I would love a semi-sweet white wine.
Dry all the way.
And if I'm having a steak, enjoying some nice red meat, then it's gonna be some red wine.
loves her steak, but let's cheers to white wine.
Cheers to white wine and Bahat Winery. Okay guys, we saw all about how wine is made. Now how about some chocolate?
I've never made a chocolate before.
So let's go see how it is.
Let's do it.
At Decorina Chocolate Boutique, the visitors learn the history of chocolate making, tour the halls of the factory, and even partake in a fun workshop.
Natalie and I are here right now with Guillaume, which is
Hello.
the manager of Decorina Chocolatier. He's going to tell us a little bit about the process.
Okay, here in our visitor center, we offer to our visitors guided tours. We are now in the first station, our screening room, where we present to our visitors a short movie of about 9 minutes about the history of Karina's family, about our factory and the area of the Golan.
When do we start smelling the chocolate?
In a minute after we pass to the next station.
The next wall over.
Okay, let's
Great,
go.
so let's go.
Now we get to see the expert chocolatiers at work. He first pours the chocolate on a special table made of granite stone. He then flattens it out until the chocolate is a very thin layer. After it cools down, he turns them into chocolate logs.
After you have seen the factory, of course, what you want to do?
You want to eat the chocolate?
That's right. So, under
This treasure box.
that's treasure box. I like the the word. We have a tray with different kind of chocolate. In this case, we have bittersweet chocolate and milk chocolate and a very strong dark chocolate that each visitor tastes, of course, with a guide that explaining what is going on. Please, you're invited.
Okay, so my favorite is milk chocolate.
All right.
And that's going to be this,
Okay. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Sure. All right. Like it?
Delicious.
All right. So, you want to also?
Yeah, let's give Max one.
For the next activity, we went to the Decorina Chocolate Workshop, the highlight of our day. Bottles filled with milk, dark, and white chocolate were used to create our masterpiece, or chocolate bar.
It's in the end, after 15 minutes in the refrigerator, I'll show you what I did it. You just take off the paper and you have really nice piece of chocolate.
What did that say? Shana
Haftarot.
A year of surprises.
Yeah. Not to take the bottle to put our finger and lick it.
Okay, we're
And
not
I'm-
7 years old. We want to.
I know, but I know maybe you like to drink from there. I'm sorry, but you cannot do it.
Don't do it, Nat. She's telling you specifically.
Do you guys host parties?
Oh yeah, sure. We host here from couples that came for a holiday or maybe a special day to groups of about 50 people.
Yeah, I could see this being very popular.
Yeah, it's very busy also, especially on holidays. A lot of people come, a lot of families, the grown-ups together with the kids in the same table.
Now that it's holiday time, I'm sure you guys have a lot of
Yeah,
customers.
of course, we have a lot of activity in here.
How does that look?
Oh, this looks
not
like
bad.
me. Yeah.
You know what? I didn't know how creative I was until today.
I didn't know how creative you were either until today.
Successfully graduated Decorina's chocolate workshop. What a
Bachelor.
accomplishment.
This is better than my bachelor's degree.
Who is Karina? What does Decorina mean? Is it a name?
Yes, Karina is a name. Karina is the founder of our factory. She is our main chocolatier. And Karina is not just a chocolatier, she's a third generation to a family of chocolate makers from Argentina. Karina's grandfather fled from Europe after the First War and arrived to Argentina. There he opened a small home factory that with the years grown, and Karina's father continues with his father's work, and now in Israel is the third generation with the hand of Karina.
Thank you so much for speaking with us and showing us around the factory. We really enjoyed it.
Thank you very much for visiting us.
All right, so you two are about to do something really fun.
Like what?
You are gonna get on a horse and ride the horse. What
You
do you
guys
think about
always
scared.
surprise me with these things.
You're scared of horses?
I am. They're huge. They're huge creatures.
They are sweet and loving.
Let's do it.
Are you gonna get on a horse?
Well, someone's got to stand there and film, so how am I going to do it?
Excuses. Let's get
All
going.
right, let's go. As if we don't go on enough crazy adventures, Natalie and I thought we'd go way out of our comfort zone here. We're now here at the horse ranch with this little guy and a few others. Uri, what could we expect today on this tour?
We're gonna go out to Mount Avital, a natural reserve, and we're gonna see a little bit of the mountain and the forest. And there's a lot of wild animals on the way, so if we get lucky, then we encounter them on the way. And basically a nice quiet ride.
Once a horseback rider, always a horseback rider. Uri takes us all the way back to when he was little to tell us about how he got started with horses, how he got to opening his own ranch, and a little bit about what they offer here.
I didn't grow up in this horse ranch. I grew up in a different kibbutz in the Golan Heights. My father had a cattle herd, so basically I grew up with horses all of my life. Started riding about the age of 3, and it was always a hobby that I had. And about 3 years ago, I got a phone from the kibbutz here that asked me if I want to open my own ranch. Obviously, I said of course. And about 2 months later, me and my wife we moved into the kibbutz and we opened the ranch. And since then we're here, and I'm doing those tours for tourists. And we also have a small riding school, and we also do therapeutic rides for kids.
That sounds amazing, but what does a therapeutic ride entail exactly?
Therapeutic ride is basically the horses has a very, very good intelligence, emotion intelligence. So they're very good with kids, and with a good person that connects the kids to the horse, you can show them a process that they do in their everyday life, which are very hard for them to do, and they're very easy for them to do with the horses because the communication is very easy, it's very simple. And then you can take this and reflect it on everyday life. And it's very helpful for the kids.
Well, isn't that just the sweetest thing you've heard all day? After spending some time with these beautiful animals, you actually start to understand how kind and gentle they really are. They're so intuitive, understanding, and responsive, it's amazing to see. And just in case you were going to blame age for not participating, think again. Apparently, it doesn't matter how old or experienced you are, anyone can ride along.
We take tours for all level riders, from non-experienced to very experienced riders. So from about 1 hour, it's the basic tour, and we go up to a few days for the more exciting rides. And depends on you.
This definitely came as a surprise to us.
From where have you had people visiting you? Are they tourists? Are they locals?
So most of the people coming to do the tours are Israeli tourists that come from everywhere in Israel. But we also had a lot of people coming from abroad. Basically travelers that come across the Golan Heights. So I have people from Belgium, from Ireland, all around Europe. I have a few people from the US come here. So we take people from everywhere. We're trying to speak English, a little bit of Spanish, and the rest we do with the hands, so we take everybody.
So like Uli mentioned earlier, there are hour-long tours that take riders around to get a feel for the environment around the kibbutz. But for those of you looking for a bit more adventure, I'd listen up.
The few-day trips are basically built personalized for everybody who's coming. So it could be just walking around and sleeping in sleeping bags in the wild. And it could be a day tour from here to a different hotel or Zimmer. And it all depends on the people who comes, and we build it especially for everybody who comes.
A custom trip just for you. You pick the destination and Uli plans the rest. All right, enough talk. Let's see how long Natalie and I actually last on this ride.
You look so cute. You look like you weirdly do this a lot.
Does it match me?
Yeah, it weirdly does.
She doesn't do this normally, guys. Don't worry. First time for this city gal. But first, a quick selfie. So how exactly does one actually get on this enormous animal? It's very simple.
You go up like this. You put one hand in the back of the saddle, one leg in the strap, one hand in the horn. And then I go up in 2 stages. I'm standing up and crossing over. Don't jump over the horse, only walks in the movies.
Wow, okay, good to know. No jumping here.
I don't want the whole leg to be inside because I don't want to be stuck in the strap, okay? Okay. And then I take both of my legs a little bit to the front, and I'm very stable. Right, left, going up, going down. I always have somewhere to lean on. The reins we're using to guide the horse and stop him. We hold them by two hands from the outside in, okay? So the reins come from the bottom part of my hand and goes up. Okay? The reason I hold the reins this way, because every time I want to pull the reins, I'm going to want to do it sideways and low as possible, okay? If I hold it the other way around, I'm naturally taking the reins for my shoulders. You will also stop here, but then I will have to work harder.
We wouldn't want to work too hard now, would we? Okay, so how do we get this horse to listen?
When I want to ask the horse to go forward, I want her to have freedom in her mouth. I do a clicking or kissing sound and a little kick with my legs, okay? So it looks like this. And she walks. When I want the horse to turn, just like a bicycle. If I want to go left, I pull my left hand, my right hand is released. So when I go right, I pull my right hand and I release my left hand. When I want to stop, I pull both of my hands and I call ho.
Okay, so now it looks like she's comfy and ready to go. Now my turn. And we're off.
So, Manuel, you're gonna follow me, and then Natalie, you're gonna take a right turn and come after us. Take a hard right. It's okay. Let's get to the gate. Release the reins a little bit. Oh, watch out. Stop. Yeah. Wanna run towards Max? Yeah, go. Kick her.
That was the most fun I've had in such a long time.
Natalie, she just goes to the water. Let her. Natalie, I'm coming for you.
This was the funnest thing I have done in a very long time. I haven't been on a horse since I was 10. So yeah. Nat's still stuck on the horse. Let's go get her. Nat! Okay, wow. This has definitely been an eventful day. We're both ready to check out the hotel now.
Guys, after such a long day of fun-filled activities, how about now we go back to the En Zivan Hotel?
Yeah, it looks really nice, and I heard it used to be a Syrian army base.
That's
Yeah?
interesting.
We're about to find out all about it. Let's go.
We got a chance to meet up with Oded, one of the original kibbutz members, to hear about how kibbutz En Zivan was established and the history of its land. We're here right now with Oded, who is a member of the En Zivan kibbutz, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the history behind it. Hello.
Shalom, everybody. I'm Oded. I live in En Zivan for the last 34 years. We came from center of Israel, from Tel Aviv area, and we think it was important to establish the Golan because we think the Golan is very important for the security of Israel.
Originally, a kibbutz was established to form a democratic community where people live and work together, pushing aside problems of bias and competition. The kibbutzim were based on a foundation of agriculture, whereas now it's nearly impossible to sustain the kibbutzim on agriculture alone.
We came here with 4 children. Education is fantastic in the kibbutz. They invest a lot for the future generation. In those days, the kibbutz was a regular collective kibbutz.
We wanted to check out the hotel that we've heard so much about, so Oded gave us a little tour of the hotel, which is part of kibbutz En Zivan.
I'm going to show you later the hotel dining room, where people mostly have their breakfast. Sometime when we have a large group, we provide them dinner also. There is a recreation center, a little room where sometimes groups want lectures and things like this. These are the two elements, I would say, that belong only to the hotel.
Other than these spots listed, the rest of the hotel shares its amenities with the kibbutz and its members, making the visitor's experience that much more unique, giving off a feeling of home and community.
We have a swimming pool. Every guest of the pool belongs to the kibbutz. Every guest get a free entrance to the pool. The pool just closed last week. It was the end of the season. We have a mini market where people who don't, since we don't offer dinner, people have the option by themselves food, and they have all the necessary in the room to make their own dinner.
Israel is a country enriched with so much history, so whenever we travel around, we like to hear a bit of past stories.
The basketball court you see back there was already a basketball court in the days of the Syrian army, meaning next year will be 50 years ago that Israel took the Golan. And the Syrian soldiers, maybe officers, I don't know, were sitting on these benches to watch the sports game.
So there's a lot of history that we're sitting on right now.
That's right,
here.
that's right.
Oded explains to us all about how he fought so hard to have these benches preserved.
Last year, when they were working on building the 11 new bed and breakfast units, they wanted to ruin them. They wanted to cover them with soil and put those big rocks. And I saw it and I ran like crazy. I asked, please change, don't do it, because I think it's part of the history of that place. And thank God we succeeded.
Whenever visiting Ein Zivan, don't shy away from calling Oded for a tour. He's been here since the beginning and is eager to share the history.
Sometimes groups will come to stay overnight with us, or sometimes they come just for 1 hour to listen the story of the kibbutz. If it's not too cold, I love to sit them here, and on that fence I hang my big mat and I tell them the story. So it's one of my favorites.
A history lesson.
Yeah.
From the months of June until September, the guests of the hotel can go fruit picking right here in the kibbutz. And in the winter, they could go ski in the Mount Hermon.
There's a selection of different rooms available, wooden lodges with extra rooms upstairs just for children. Some rooms even have a jacuzzi. How amazing is that? All rooms come with kosher breakfast along with delicious treats such as chocolate and wine that all come from Ramat HaGolan. Ein Zivan is close to both the Galil and Golan area, making it a great starting point for any tours available. The Golan Trail even crosses the kibbutz itself. There are so many attractions within such a short distance. Mount Hermon, the Gilboa River, Odem Forest, and so many more. Okay guys, we're exhausted. We're going to sit back, relax, and enjoy the silence. See ya!
That's all the cruising we have for you today. Join us again next Sunday. And remember, on ILTV.tv, we cruise Israel 24/7. Bye-bye.
Bye.